Welcome in, everyone, to the shit show. Mike and Joe here with you on this Monday night. Mike, welcome home. Welcome in. Welcome home.
Both of them. Thank you.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties at the start of the show, and just so you know, Mike is about maybe 6 to 8 feet away from me. He's facing me. I'm facing him, but we're blocked off. Thank God. And I went to start the show, and doing everything, setting them up. We were setting up last minute because we're not used to having no lead into the show. So all of a sudden, I'm getting a bad echo. Now the thing is, I have multiple Spotify accounts. Could I have left that computer on mute and played it through my Google Home behind me? And I'm just listening in case I start, unless I triggered it or anything. Okay. I could have did that, right?
Right.
Did I? No. I was blasting it with that speaker that I was showing you before the show. So I think that's what it was, but for whatever reason, it must have been this computer because everything I did with that computer didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I had to totally reboot this computer to get everything started tonight.
Yeah, sometimes we have to do that.
Gotta love technology.
Gotta.
But we're here tonight and got a lot to talk about. We'll sneak some things in here as well that aren't on the planned list here tonight. Going to talk a lot of Yankees, and that makes me cringe.
Right.
As a Phillies fan. Especially since Charlie Manuel's a fucking dope. I mean, I still blame him for 2009 and not winning 4 in a row. But they over the course of the weekend they changed their facial hair policy. They announced today that when they're going to play Frank Sinatra's New York, New York. Then we're going to get into football. It has been identified, but I will tell you who it is in a second. But the original article I saw, unidentified NFL team submits proposal to ban the Tush Push, the brotherly shove. What was the name? I should have taped, and I should have recorded this 2 weeks ago when he and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley were on the. Oh, I know what it was. They were joking around. They called the play the Heine over the Liney. So we're going to get into that. Joel Embiid, is it time to shut him down? I'll tell you why. Not just because the Sixers are getting their asses handed to them tonight, but we'll get that. We'll get some more. And that last part there. I purposely told Mike, I am not telling you what happened. When you shouldn't announce a major event. The only thing I told him is that it's horse racing related. But it was, I'll give you a little bit of a hint here. I was in contact with not your friend, my friend, Jessica Paquette.
Yeah.
And I said a comment to her after she was done the races today, but we'll get into that here. But
okay.
But I think that's a nice sorbet because we can joke around about different things and stuff like that.
That's
and
true.
All that. So Sixers are getting their ass kicked. They are down. They are down 48 right now, 130 to 82.
At home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Nick Nurse trying to get fired?
Seems like it doesn't.
Jesus Christ. So anyways, let's get to it here. And Mike,
Yes.
if you were a baseball player
Yes.
and you got signed by the evil empire,
Yes.
you would not have to shave your facial hair off anymore.
Oh, that would be so nice.
That is because the Yankees on Friday announced that they are changing their policy, which has been in place since 1976. Um, it was an infamous edict that's been in place for nearly 50 years. It was formally amended for the first time on Friday. Now, I did see something. I think it was on. Um, I think it was on Instagram, so I didn't share it or anything.
Hmm.
And you might have seen on Facebook because you're always looking at the shit that I post.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, what's Joe doing now to get his ass into trouble? Kind of like how a couple of days ago I tried to stir the drink and nothing happened. But there was I don't know if you just call it a meme or just a JPEG or whatever, but whatever it was a graphic of Lou Piniella going to a quote that he had for George Steinbrenner, the former owner who passed away about 2011. Back in 76, he said, Jesus Christ had long hair. Why can't I have long hair?
Oh, wow.
And George Stein, now, if this is true,
Right.
if it's true,
Okay.
because, make shit up as you go along,
Right.
you switch names, all that stuff. George Steinbrenner says in return, if you can walk across that lake, you can have your facial hair.
Okay. I can see
So,
the logic. Okay.
so I see why they did that, but I understand why, it's like any school, any business, anything. You have your set of guidelines. And we know all about it with Redacted Company and all their BS that they did. Back you were working with me. We got away with wearing shorts.
Yep.
We got away with t-shirts that were somewhat questionable. But
That's a good way
the
of putting
thing
it.
is, you can get you were able to start getting away with t-shirts again because I know like every Friday,
Right.
like my Mondays and Fridays were picked out shirts for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
My Monday shirt was a Pearl Jam shirt that I liked that fell apart after about 5-10 years. My Friday shirt was my gritty shirt that I got at the truck festival over at Roosevelt Mall a while back.
Okay.
It says, "No one likes me. I don't care."
Right.
So, and I posted that one year. I was like, is this a political statement? Is it this? Is it that? Is it whatever? Only I know.
That would be you doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we got away with, we started getting away with t-shirts because the evil dictator, we know her name. We're not going to mention her name.
Yes, we do.
Begins with a D,
Yeah.
doesn't end in ick. Because if she had something that ended in ick, we'd all be run away.
Yeah, we would.
But I don't think she cared about the shirt. It was just that, okay, just make sure you have closed shoes on, like sneakers or something. Make sure you have pants on,
Yeah.
But just simple stuff. Make sure it has sleeves. The old rule with the old crew before. I think it went into play around 2008, 2009.
Okay.
I only say that because I know that we were downtown at the time,
Right.
around the corner from the I Love Massage parlor.
Ah, okay.
But that wasn't there at the time. That didn't come into existence until like 2013, 2014. I mean, now if there's something that smacks you in the face and says massage parlor, it's a big ass sign that says I love massage.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
But and those that know the city of Philadelphia, they know where I work at. It's just that I choose not to disclose the name of the business. You can figure it out. And even if you did float it into chat, I'm not going to say yes or no. But I might even have to. I might even have to block your ass, but no, no, but seriously. Um, no, I just feel like especially with the guy that got fired from his job from the Green Bay game for telling the female Green Bay fan in front of her that he'd see her next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is, no matter what your company thing is, you just, you represent your company, especially if you have redacted name on here, even though mine says Pearl Jam on here. Um, if it said redacted company here, then yeah, I expect to get my ass into trouble.
Yeah.
But if I if I don't have this, if it doesn't have redacted on here or don't have anything, I do have an argument for not firing me for cause, breaking code, whatever, because back in, and I think I mentioned this to you a couple of times, I may not have even. I mentioned it on the show a lot. Um, the Charlottesville riots, which were 2018, I believe.
Yeah. You did. I remember that. Yeah.
So the company, the redacted company, did an investigation on at least two people because they thought there was a redacted logo on their shirt because it led to violence and everything else and somebody dying and all this other crap that happened. Even though they weren't necessarily involved in the actual killing or any type of destruction, they were there
Yep.
and they're representing redacted company with that shirt, even though they're off the clock.
Yep.
So my argument would be, well, I'm not wearing anything redacted. You can't fire me just on me seeing a picture there. Now, you can fire me if like I called out sick and I was on the picture, but that's something different.
That is different. Right.
But yeah, I do have to find that email so I can notate that because if anything were to happen to me, because you know how some businesses are like, you're gone.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, here you go.
There
Here's
you
the
go.
email.
Yep. Protect yourself.
But the one thing is, some teams have more rules than others, and Yankees were notorious for this for almost 50 years. And the Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner said the organization will allow well-groomed beards, effective immediately, changing a rule that his father established in 1976.
What the heck does that mean?
I guess as long as you don't look like Al Qaeda or you don't look like Jason Worth when his last couple of years here in Philly or Brandon Marsh right now.
Yeah. Because Brandon Beard is like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that's what it means. It's like, within reason. You get a little out of control. Trim that down, buddy. But the thing is, I never looked to see what their well-groomed beard means. But it said that they said they were going to announce what that well-groomed meaning is. But
Yeah.
I didn't look for it, nor do I really care. It'll just be a little weird seeing, Garrett Cole with a little bit of a beard on.
That would be different.
Because he did have a beard on when he was with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But the modification did not address the organization's policy on hair length, which stipulates that the uniformed personnel are not allowed to grow hair below their collar.
Wonder how they're going to get past that.
Well, you still gotta have short hair.
So you have a beard, but the beard has to be short.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Hal Steinbrenner told reporters on Friday that the mandate has been on his mind over the years. He emphasized the possibility of losing out on acquiring players because of facial hair restrictions as a significant reason to make a change that registers as seismic for the franchise.
Oh, it is about time.
Mhm.
It's way past time.
But, I'd like to see what well-groomed is to Brandon Marsh.
I don't think we'll ever see that with Brandon.
No.
No.
I think we'll see Brandon Marsh bald before he trims that beard.
Definitely.
And that hairline is receding a little bit.
Yeah.
And for somebody whose hairline has receded big time over the years, I hope I'm allowed to call him out on that.
You probably can.
Yeah.
If not, I'll tell him. Well, didn't Johnny Damon play for the Yankees?
Yeah.
He had all that hair when he played for Boston.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Yankees. I didn't recognize him at first. Like,
yeah.
Johnny, is that you?
Is this what you were saying?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Is what I was saying.
So, yeah, that's exactly it's exactly what people say whenever somebody goes there and gets and has to shave.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Because you don't recognize him.
Matter of fact, that was a comment that I had toward Jessica Paquette today. But I did censor myself because I told her when I interviewed her, even though there's no proof of it because I fucked up on the audio and I still kicked myself about it.
Right.
I told her I censor myself with around women and children. It's just that sometimes you just let it fly. And it's like, oops, But and then she goes, "Can I curse on this show?" It's like, go right ahead.
Okay.
She goes a bit. She was saying about dealing with bullshit from people. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, I told her that the horse that won the Rebel yesterday, Coal Battle.
Yeah.
I said, this is giving me Smarty Jones feels in a way. And I said that because it was about, it's a bunch of who the heck, I put heck there instead of,
right.
Not a bunch of.
Who the fuck is that guy?
A bunch of who the heck are those guys
right.
who are probably officially in the Kentucky Derby right now with 80 points right now. But, it's like some guy from Oklahoma won a couple of races at Remington, and now he went to Oaklawn, won 2 races there, that sort of thing. But anyways, back to this story, as I am full of tangents tonight. Steinbrenner said, if I ever found out that a player we wanted to acquire to make us better, to get us a championship, did not want to be here, and if he had the ability, would not come here because of that policy, as important as it is to that generation, that would be very, very concerning, and I'm fairly convinced that that's a real concern.
Okay. If that said player is going to help the team, and he's told them that under the old policy they need to cut their hair, they wouldn't come. I can see how that would be concerning to them. Yeah.
But the one thing is, I know that Ken Griffey Jr., he said he would never sign with the Yankees.
Yeah, he did.
But it was nothing in regards to beard policies, because it was the fact that he wasn't allowed on the field, but Greg Nettles' kid was.
Oh.
So put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
He's like, so.
Yeah.
And those that are watching, you can put 2 and 2 together as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't get 5. But you get the idea. Um, Now, Steinbrenner said he spoke with several players past and present, including Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, and Giancarlo Stanton individually on last Monday, to hear their opinions on the matter. He noted that not all of them were for the change.
That's odd.
I guess in some regards, well, I think that Aaron Judge may have been the guy who was against changing it. Only because I saw that he said the other day that he was not going to grow a beard. And it may just be that he just may not grow a beard anywhere.
Right.
But Steinbrenner did say, I did make the decision on the policy that was in place, that the policy that was in place was outdated, given how important it is to that generation, and given that it is a norm in the world today, that it was somewhat unreasonable, so I made the change.
Oh, bravo, Steinbrenner.
So-
Bravo.
I'm curious to know which one was against it, or which ones.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I mean, Giancarlo Stanton looks like a guy who's a pain in the ass. Who would be the one that would be, you gotta vote on this 12-0.
Right.
You gotta vote on this unanimously to get this through. And just for the sake of fucking around with people,
he
will vote against the change because
Yeah.
and I don't know who did, so don't say I said it was Giancarlo Stanton. I have no idea who it was, nor do I care, but it's interesting that there were different answers that were made here. Brian Cashman, the general manager, supported it, the accommodation. It's time. It's not an easy decision for Hal Steinbrenner to make. Like every decision he makes it with a lot of information before he ultimately gets there. We're like a gigantic naval battle cruiser. It just takes a while to turn. So, and the thing is, you're not making a rash decision.
Right.
And I think that what he did was he said, Hal Steinbrenner did exactly what Cashman described everything was, let's figure this out here. Let me talk to everybody. If somebody is against this against me changing the facial hair ban, let it be known that this is something that we canvass as many people as possible on, team and forward teammates.
Right.
So it isn't like. So I don't think it has anything to do with, Gen Z and Gen Alpha and Gen whatever.
Gin and juice.
I could use some gin juice, but I mean,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It wasn't like he made a rash decision one way or the other.
Right.
It wasn't even everybody's got to wear their socks. You got to wear your pants. You can't wear the pajama pants that you wear anymore. You got to have them where they are actually below your kneecap,
Right.
like no more than an inch or two below the kneecap. You got to wear that now. It wasn't like that.
Right.
It was something that he took time and made sure he got everybody's opinion on it, because you got the older players, you got the newer players. You gotta make because this is an important decision, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. I'm glad he went to the players instead of making one concrete decision. Let me talk to the players, talk to them, hash it out, and then I'll come to a decision.
Mhm.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So he informed the team the change during the team meeting on Friday morning. He said a policy defining what is considered well-groomed would be announced as early as the end of the day. I didn't look for it, nor do I care.
Gotcha.
Now, Garrett Cole, who I think is for the change, I'm guessing off of this statement that he made. He said the only information we were offered from Brian Cashman, was that we're not trying to look like Duck Dynasty.
I can understand that.
Now, Cole often wore a beard pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Houston Astros before signing with the Yankees. He said, no diss against Duck Dynasty. They're grinding in the woods all the time. You don't really have another option, but that's the only clarification we got so far.
Yeah, I think he's for it.
So, George Steinbrenner implemented the grooming policy because he thought regulating players' appearance regulating players' appearance, training, physical. Wait a second, wrong page. It would instill discipline. That's what it is. We went a little too far. We had the pages right here.
Okay.
It was codified before the 1976 season, leaving players a choice of being clean-shaven or wearing a mustache, and not allowing them to grow hair past their collars. Hal Steinbrenner kept the codes in place after becoming the chairman and controlling owner of the franchise in November 2008. George died 3 years later. So, but I guess it's time.
Yes.
If you like the ability of if you feel like being clean shaven all the time, then do it.
Right.
If you don't feel like shaving for a couple of days, or the side piece likes you with hair.
Right.
But there were a few that pushed the limits of these rules. And most importantly, Don Mattingly. He was benched. He was fined and benched by manager Stump Merrill for refusing to wear a mullet in 1991.
Oh, that.
4 years later, Mattingly wore a goatee for part of his final season in 1995. Because he said, I'm done. Fuck you.
That's exactly what he did.
Now, here's some cases where some players saying that they wouldn't go there. David Price, the American League Cy Young Award winner, after he was coming off the Cy Young Award in 2012. In 2013, he declared he would not consider signing with the Yankees when he hit free agency, as long as the edict remained in place. Later that year, Brian Wilson, not from the Beach Boys,
Okay.
the one from the Giants with the...
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
He refused to engage in talks with the Yankees because he didn't want to shave his trademark jet black beard. So that made sense too.
Yeah, it did.
But, Now, Brian Cashman remembered that in 2009 or 2008 offseason, CeCe Sabathia was initially hesitant about joining the Yankees because he didn't want to shave before the team convinced him with a 7-year, $161 million contract.
Money will do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cashman also noted there were instances where draft prospects communicated they'd rather not go to the Yankees because of the mandate. This offseason, he said a policy was an issue for a player the team pursued as a non-roster invitee for spring training.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, closer Devin Williams, who was acquired from the Brewers in December, reported to spring training despondent about having to shave his beard. He kept the beard when he reported to Steinbrenner Field for his spring training physical before showing up with a mustache for the team's first workout the next day. However, a week later, he sported a light beard on the team's photo day.
Yeah.
So he did all that work, getting himself all clean cut, and then
no more. I can grow it back. Thank you.
So Gleyber Torres and Clay Holmes reported to camp with full beards. And even more reason that Garrett Cole was for this. I think it's appropriate, makes sense. It still embodies our look and our neatness, but allows some individual freedom for a few less razor burns.
That's true.
So, I mean, I guess it's time.
Yeah.
For them, and Cincinnati was the other one that had it, and they got rid of it a while back, probably after Mark Schott died, or was it? Did they still? I don't know. I don't know when that occurred, but it was probably 15 years ago when they got rid of theirs. You know what? Since we have time,
Because I don't remember Eric Davis having a beard. Back in the 70s, yeah, Pena didn't have one. Rose didn't have one.
no.
Morgan didn't have one. Yeah, that's probably when it was in place.
Here it is. The Cincinnati Reds banned facial hair starting in 1969, before lifting the policy in 1999.
Okay.
The Marlins in 2016 adopted a policy banning facial hair before softening it the next year and allowing it as long as it looked neat.
I'm trying to think.
But that was when Don Mattingly was there, which ironically, he was the one that pushed against it back in the day.
Okay, Don. Make up your mind.
I know. So there's more changes coming to the New York Yankees. Now, one thing you hear after every Yankees home game is New York, you suck. I mean, New York, New York.
Right, New York, New York.
And the Yankees announced today that they're only going to play it after wins.
I can see that. Could the Phillies do that with Harry Callis? Yeah.
Well, that's a clip that they play. They have like a couple
Yeah.
of songs that they mix together, and then they go to that, and then they go to going back to Philadelphia, PA, and then they go through a couple of different things. But so they're only going to play it after home wins, and instead of all games in the Bronx, going back to the original custom set by George Steinbrenner in 1980. The players and staff were tired of hearing a celebratory song after a loss.
I can see that.
Well, and if there's any Yankees fans out there, I'm pretty sure of this, but I'm sure somebody will say this never happened. They used to play Frank's version after a win, and was it Liza Minnelli after a loss? Yeah, the song was first sung by Liza Minnelli, so
Right.
they used her version as a loss because it wasn't as energetic.
Right.
And he played Frank Sinatra's after a win. Liza Minnelli caught wind of it and said, if you're not going to play it for wins, you're not playing my song.
Ah, okay.
And they said, okay, we're not playing your song then. So, but they like some of the songs that they played. They played a 1966 recording of "That's Life" after Sunday's loss at Steinbrenner Field to Detroit. They played a 1993 song by Dean Kaye and Kelly Gordon. It doesn't say what the song is. And of course, that was the next change after the Beard song. Now, I'm just wondering, and this may be a good test for anybody who's watching right now. Anybody got a good song that the Yankees can play after a loss?
Mama told me there be days like this.
That's a good one.
Yeah. You got bad luck. That's what you got. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't play Three Blind Mice, even though there's
No.
4 referees,
No.
4 umpires. There's a whole bunch of songs that people could mention there. And feel free to chime in with them. If I mean, I can't. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that would be PG-13
Right.
or appropriate for kids.
I fought the law and the law won.
That's a good one.
I just heard that a couple days ago.
Well, you could play CeeLo Green's "Forget You,"
Right. Right.
but you can't play that other version
That's true.
because there's two versions of that song.
Yes, it is. Yes. He had to do that for the record company. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we want to have this on the radio, and obviously you can't use the F word.
No, you can't.
Otherwise, the radio stations have to bleep out every. Well,
yeah.
Well, with the way that they do music now, where everything's in MP3, you just edit the MP3. Like, for example, there was a song by, oh God, is it Three Doors Down? No. Now I gotta look. I gotta look this up here because it's in my head now. Now I'm typing with the laptop keyboard instead of my desktop one. Jesus Christ. Oh, Puddle of Mud. She Hates Me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, just the example of that song, for example. Now, there is a censored version of the song, but the song goes, "She fucking hates me, la la la."
Yeah, that's another candidate.
Yeah, so that's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, can't play it, but not even in a stadium where mostly adults would be like, you can't say that F word, Johnny. But the team said they are going to use various songs after losses. I don't know what they are. They didn't say anything.
You know what? This song just came to mind.
What's that?
And they go to Giancarlo Stanton, and they said, "Giancarlo, what happened to the team today? Why'd you lose?" On the loudspeaker, you hear, "We had a bad case of diarrhea." Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's Chan Ho Park's walk-up song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna play it. No, because he did an interview. He did an interview on you. He did an interview after the game. Oh, why'd you give us so many runs? Oh, well, last night I had a big case of diarrhea.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
I think you played that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so New York was first sung by Liza Minnelli in 1977, or for the 1977 Martin Scorsese film New York. Sinatra performed in a Don Costa arrangement for his 1980 recording of Trilogy Past, Present, Future.
Okay.
So, yes, yeah, and it does say here they alternated the Sinatra version after wins and Minnelli's version following defeats. But Liza Minnelli eventually caught wind and said, "No, you're not playing my song when we lose."
Makes sense. I can see why she said that.
But I mean, I wish my brain wasn't so fried right now, because I'm sure I could rattle off songs just like that of songs you can play. You had a few good ones there just for.
That's off the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else. I suck.
Nothing appropriate anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Now, as we work away from baseball here, because they're only a couple of games in, and everybody in Florida except for the Mets and Cardinals were rained out today. I mean, usually when you get rain in Florida, it pretty much wipes out the entire slate of games, and we really haven't seen that in Florida the last couple of years. But the Phillies got canceled. They got to avoid Paul Skeens again. Not even though you could probably light them up for 6 runs and then be like, yeah, we lit them up for 6 runs, and then the regular season comes in the Philly and throws a no hitter.
Yeah.
But because this time of the year you're just monkeying around with different pitches and trying different things and not actually pitching like you normally would once the regular season starts. This is the time where you experiment with different things,
Right.
But everything was canceled except for that one game for whatever reason. But anyway, so on the football here, there is one team. It was unidentified for a while. And I'm going to start it off as unidentified because I know who it was that put in this rule request, because this is the time of year where they have their meetings in Indianapolis because they're starting the scouting combines and stuff like that.
That started today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is an NFL team that submitted a rule proposal to ban the hiney over the liney, or the tush push, or the brotherly shove. Now, Troy Vincent, he's the executive vice president of football operations. He told reporters that during the scouting combine today. Now, Vincent did not identify the team
Right.
that made the proposal when he made his comments during a break in the winter meetings between the NFL officials and the competition committee. He was talking to the Washington Post and the NFL Network. But I found out when I was looking on Instagram, whatever, somebody shared it, made a graphic, whatever. The Green Bay Packers want to get rid of it.
Sour grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why.
Because they lost twice?
Yes, because they lost twice. And as you know, in football, when one team starts doing something, eventually every team will catch up to it.
Mm-hmm.
This hasn't happened to the Eagles yet. So until you get to that point, you can't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you can't do it and you're jealous of the other team do it, find a way to do it. You find a way to stop it. Until then, shut up, sit down, next.
Or you can be like the Washington Commander. What was his name? You could be Frankie Louvu and just get penalty after penalty after penalty to the point where, we're going to give these guys a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think with that, the reason why they did that was because, we can't move the ball technically another 2 inches because,
Right?
we're already right against the goal line.
And who knew there is a rule in the rule book about that, about them awarding a touchdown? Who knew?
Now I know this happened once in high school or college. Many years ago.
College.
And it may be something different from what you're saying. It may be a different time than what you were saying, but
okay.
There was a player who was returning a kick for a touchdown. And I think it was one of the assistant coaches. He said, "You're not getting that touchdown." So he tackled him.
Yes. The same when he came onto the field. He was sitting on the bench, came onto the field. Yeah. The only time it happened. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I think it may have happened one time in the NFL, but it was like in the 40s or whatever. But it's like one of those rules that are there that you don't realize is there.
Yeah.
Kind of like the bat play rule where you bat the ball out of bounds.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's it.
Nobody knew about that rule until a couple of years ago. But yeah, but the thing is, if you're going to get rid of the tush push, brotherly shove, hiney over the liney, whatever you want to call it, if you're going to get rid of that particular play, don't you think you have to get rid of the quarterback sneak altogether?
You know what? Great minds think alike because I was thinking the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
All the tush push is modified quarterback sneak.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah. And the thing is, let's give credit where credit is due.
Yes.
You don't even know where I'm going with this.
All right. Rewind. Okay, go ahead.
If it wasn't for Jeff Stoutland, see, you thought I was just going to say the offensive line.
Yeah, I did.
If it wasn't for Jeff Stoutland, they wouldn't run the play with that much precision at all. There's a reason why, even when coaches get fired, Chip Kelly brought him in, I believe. So Chip Kelly got fired.
Right.
Doug Peterson came in, won a Super Bowl, then got fired.
Right.
Well, because he wanted more control after going 4-11-1 like a dumbass.
Yeah.
At least that's what we think would happen. Then Nick Sirianni comes in. They made sure Jeff Stoutland is not going anywhere.
Hall of Fame offensive line coach, bar none.
And it also helps that you have a quarterback who deadlifts 600 pounds.
That's a big help. Yeah.
Well, granted, we're talking about when he was in college. He might be down to 590 now.
Right.
But, you have all the elements here. You got 350-pound linemen who are agile as well.
Right.
And by the way, why hasn't Jordan Mailata lined up in the backfield yet?
Oh, like William Refrigerator Perry?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because he used to play rugby.
Yeah, he did.
But
that's up his alley.
Actually, why not use him for the tush push?
You could.
But, but the thing is, like you said before we started, and, the NFL doesn't give a shit about injuries. They make it look like they do, but they don't. Let's call this out here because you don't see many injuries with this play. Other than the Giants when they tried to do it the first game of the 23 season, 2 players got hurt. Typical Giant shit.
Right.
But, Chris Jones in the Super Bowl, what he was thinking, I don't know. Maybe he was already in concussion protocol from the offensive line,
right.
Doing what they were doing the whole game. He decided to line up, and you mentioned it to me, instead of lining up facing the lineman, he lined it up facing his own defensive lineman in a 90-degree angle from the offensive line. No wonder why you were complaining about your neck when you came back off the field.
Yep.
But, the thing is, there's 2 teams that run this well. They've combined to rush 163 times with tush pushes. And that's where a team lines up with one or more players behind the quarterback to push them forward against the defensive line over the past 3 seasons. So it's 163 times. These 2 teams have scored a touchdown or achieved a first down on 87% of the attempts that use that play. The Eagles are one of those 2 teams. Who's the other team that was included in that stat?
I'm thinking the Lions.
Nope.
Oh. It's not the Bucks.
Wrong conference.
Broncos?
No,
Who?
but even though what's his face, his daughter's on FanDuel TV. The former New Orleans coach.
Oh. Play a coach for Denver now. Yeah.
Yeah,
New Orleans?
he used to coach New Orleans. Remember?
Yeah.
Won the Super Bowl for New Orleans.
But that's the second team?
No, it's not the second team. Um, Sean Payton,
Sean Payton, yeah.
because his daughter Megan's on FanDuel TV. But
Okay.
I don't really get to watch it during the week anymore because I'm working. But he said, with a snide remark, well, if they're going to allow me to run the tush push, and I'm going to run it every play, every game. Obviously, he's not going to do it, Bo Nix, but
Right.
he was saying that in jest.
Right.
And we have a bot here. Bye-bye.
Oh, I know who it was. There had to be Buffalo.
Yep.
When you said that, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Josh Allen, yeah, it has to be Buffalo.
Yeah. And that account will be gone in a couple of minutes
Okay.
because somebody decided to say, hey, cheap viewers. No, we do our show organically, motherfucker.
Right.
But you get the idea. So the Eagles and Bills have run it 163 times. I think the Eagles are probably like 120 of those. And 87%. The rest of the league, they've run it to 71% success rate, I believe. So, yeah, the rest of the league has been successful just 71% of the time. The Eagles and Bills combined have done it 87%.
That's amazing.
But some of the times that the Eagles didn't do it,
Yeah.
they tried it on third down. They got it like a yard.
Right.
And they said, fuck it, we'll do it again.
Yeah, they did.
But the thing is, you really haven't seen, well, you have seen some ingenuity with it. You saw like a halfback option play where it's like, okay, one step forward, it's like, oh.
Right.
But I haven't seen the one, I saw this in college. I saw it on YouTube, and good luck me finding it. They fake the push, takes a step back. When he lets go, the tight end is about 20 yards away from the defensive back, so he's going for a touchdown.
I saw that one. Did you see the one where they were doing the push and the guy, they pushed the line so much that he got through there and went 95 yards from touchdown? Yeah, I saw that one too.
But the thing is, it's about the offensive line. And if you have the offensive line that is good enough, agile enough, fast enough that you can get down that lower momentum before the defensive line does, you're going to win that 87, 90, 95% of the time.
Yep, that's true.
And, it's just like, it's just like anything else that's going on. It's like, oh, we don't like this. Well, deal with it.
Exactly.
But
the other thing they did too, besides either Jalen going straight ahead or going to the left, he changes his cadence. He's gotten first downs off of that.
Yeah.
So like you said, there's variations of doing a tush push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if Mike McDaniel was our head coach, I guarantee you he'd be talking shit like he did to Max Crosby to one play where he goes, Tua gets the Max Crosby to go offside.
Right.
Mike McDaniel goes, I didn't have a play called, Max.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just wondering how he is not in the drug policy in the NFL because let me tell you, the last season or two have really taken a toll on him because he looks like he had a 3-night bender with Charlie Sheen.
He was horrible. He does, yeah.
The hair's like all over
And
the
it's,
place.
it's all over the place.
I mean, it looks like my hair first thing in the morning. But that's only because, I don't feel like getting a cut even though it's about time. But, Jalen Hurts ran that play for a touchdown. I think he ran it a couple of times 2 years ago as well.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship game, Frankie Louvu twice was flagged for offsides penalty, which led to Sean Hockley's announcement. And I think that was more because of the fact that where they were on the field.
Yeah.
Because they were inside the one.
Right.
And the thing is, when you say half the distance of the goal, and half the distance of the goal is about maybe that much,
right.
There's really nowhere you can move the ball.
That's true.
I mean, you almost want to take a 5-yard false start penalty so you can fuck around with them a little bit and then get them to go outside again.
Right.
But I just, and that was a rule that we didn't realize was in the book, but, it actually is in the book. And, Sean Hockley, because, his father, the gun show,
Add to the H.
yeah, he would have his shirt rolled up just to show you.
Right.
My shirt's not rolled up. It's because I have guns.
Oh, Aaron Hockley, yes. Who can forget?
I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm pro Second Amendment.
Exactly.
I have the right to bear arms. BARE arms.
Oh,
but
man.
Sean Hockley is his son, and he said he would award a touchdown. But I don't think it was necessarily Louvu. It was anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, this says if Louvu was flagged the third time, but it was the behavior of the whole defense because of the fact that these guys were trying to get a jump and they just couldn't. They kept moving the ball 3 inches closer. There was like nowhere else you can move the ball without calling it a touchdown.
And like you just said, if it was anywhere else on the field, it's a first down. But like I said, they didn't have any plays else to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Nick Sirianni said before the Super Bowl, the success that we have is not replicated always throughout the entire league. I'm lobbying to never change the rule just because we're successful at it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily an injury thing because if this is as dangerous a play as they want to say it is, guess what? Well, why isn't there like an ambulance on the field every time you run that play?
Because it's not an injury thing, it's a jealousy thing. They can do it, but we can't do it. Why are they doing it? They're successful. We should be able to do it. They should do it. That's
You know what Green Bay has?
what?
They have a vaginal thing. Or should I say a gelding thing because they got castrated twice by the Eagles.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, when Chip Kelly was the coach, and he was doing that hurry up offense, if I'm not mistaken, by the 8th or 9th game, the teams figured out what to do with the Eagles, and they had to stop doing it.
Well, they still did it,
but it wasn't as successful.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the offense had to get used to everything. So the first season with Chip Kelly, the first part of the season, they were giving him 55 points a game.
Right.
Then in the second half of the year, they got used to the offense. Nick Foles was in control, even though he wasn't running the ball that much because he's slow as fuck. He's slower than me.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, it's also slower when you got a massive dick, especially a white guy like him. But, you know, the thing is, you you do what you can with what you got, and it was, you know, the RPOs that Chip Kelly had, where, okay, well, we have to do this here, so it was more about the running backs instead of the extra threat of a running quarterback, which Chip Kelly never really had here.
No, he
I
didn't.
mean, I think he had it for part of the first year with Michael Vick, but really didn't really do anything with it. But I mean, then he brought in cross-eyed guy, Sam Bradford.
Right.
He
Oh
didn't.
yeah, we did have Bradford.
Yeah, 2 years. I
Yeah.
think he didn't do anything,
No, he didn't.
but he was just as slow, if not slower, than in more ways than one. Because he also had the cross-eye.
Yeah.
But
You can't stop it. It's successful. You shouldn't penalize the team for being successful.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Now, if players were getting hurt every single time they run the play, then you could do something.
Exactly. What you said, like you said, they're not.
Now, Troy Vincent said the hip drop and tush push were in the same conversation 3 years ago. A year ago, we felt like let's just focus in on the hip drop tackle and the tush push, just say, hey, Philadelphia Eagles, they just do it better than everybody else. But there are some concerns. Our Health and Safety Committee has laid that out today with a brief conversation on the injury report. There's some challenges, some concerns they'll share with the broader group tomorrow, but the tush push will become a topic of discussion come March.
It's a quarterback sneak modified. Like you said, if you're gonna ban that, then like I said, all quarterback sneak. So
you're gonna have to, and you know what's going to happen after they ban the quarterback sneak?
What's that?
They're going to ban the Eagles from running the ball because we run the ball so well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
But it is ridiculous, and I just think that it's just a bad. Yeah, it's just a bunch of sour grapes, especially from Green Bay because they got beat twice.
Yep.
Now, granted, I don't think they really had too many tush pushes in the second game because it was a two-score game most of the way. Even though Tampa Bay did, not Tampa Bay, Green Bay did tease us thinking that they had a shot in the game, which they didn't, and we got the Super Bowl. They got the draft. But
I'll take the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, one guy who may push for the tush push to be banned just because he's always injured, even though he doesn't play football, is Joel Embiid.
I hurt my knee with the tush push, and now I can't play anymore.
But
yeah.
So apparently Embiid had an MRI today. They ruled him out of Monday's game following the MRI on his troublesome left knee. Nick Nurse said the superstar center will continue to be looked at on Tuesday as both sides determine what the next steps will be.
Shut him down.
That's what you got to do. I mean, is it because they're afraid to shut him down because maybe he goes to the media and bitches about something, or
he's done it before?
Is he going to go after somebody else on the Philadelphia Inquirer?
And here's the sad thing about it: when he's healthy and on and playing, he's one of the most unstoppable players in the league when he plays. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't played.
The Sixers have lost 8 games in a row.
Is that what it's up to now?
That's what it's up to, including tonight. Tyrese Maxey did play. Paul George did play. Andre Drummond did play.
Oh, he did play? Okay.
They had the French guy, Yabusele, or however you pronounce it. He played. He didn't do much. Matter of fact, he had as many points as the guy who went to Detroit in the offseason.
Oh, Tobias?
Yeah, as many points as Tobias had in that final game of the playoffs last year.
0?
0.
Ouch.
But when you look at some of these names that are down here right now with all the injuries and everything else,
Yeah.
I mean, it is one big.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I mean, my God, some of the names that are on here. It's like, wait, ain't that guy dead? Well, take him off the list then.
Oh.
Like for example, the names that played in this game: Quentin Grimes, he started. David Roddy, Adam Bona. I skipped over Andre Drummond because we know who he is.
Right.
Jared Butler, Jeff Dalton Jr.,
Who the fuck is that guy?
Right.
Lonnie Walker IV,
Who the fuck is that guy?
and Ricky Council IV.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Oh, he's played though. He's a rookie, right? I
I
think Council's a rookie.
Yeah, it's his first season. But still,
Who the fuck is that guy?
Right.
but you get the idea.
I got you.
So Nurse did say he did have some testing earlier today, which ruled him out for tonight's game. There's still further testing tonight, even yet today, and continuing tomorrow that we're on. They're not ready to say that his season's over yet. But the thing is, the reason why they're not saying that right now,
Yeah.
they're only 2.5 games behind the Bulls with 25 games to go
Well, for the last playoff spot? For
for the
the
last playing spot.
playing spot? Okay.
That's probably the only reason why they're not committing one way or the other.
I could see that.
But, I think, but Joel Embiid's frustrated about the knee and everything. And, I'm thinking maybe he was misdiagnosed in January last year
I was thinking about that too.
because, that looked, I mean, it was an accident, but, that's one of those injuries that even the most, the least injury prone person would have tore his knee on. So
Right.
it wasn't anything that was something that, Joel Embiid breaks down again. That could have happened to any player that was on the ground at that time.
That's true.
So it wasn't that injury that from last year wasn't anything to do with that, but he wasn't Monday shoot around. He had been questionable with left knee management. It's been a constant issue all season in large parts of last year. Jonathan Kuminga accidentally fell within a game in Golden State on January 30th.
Yeah.
But I just want, I guess Joel's testicles are fine because he also took a nut shot on that too. But the thing is, when the knee got hit,
Yeah.
I guess I took the pain from the testicles.
Yeah, we'll take that away. Yeah.
And I can attest for pain taking away pain from another part. Remember when I had my toothache and root canal
Yeah.
last year?
Yeah.
Well, I was having major pain in my shoulder. I mean, I still had pain, but not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I have no pain in my shoulder because it's all right here.
Your body do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but Embiid's openly frustrated about the lack of process he's seen in the knee. But, I think I don't know, but the thing is it just something with his knee that they didn't fix the first time? Was it the fact that he came back too soon because he wanted to come back because he wanted to play in the Olympics? Was it because of the Olympics? Was it because he let himself go after the Olympics? I mean, there's so many different variables here that, we just hate talking about.
And he's not even 30 yet, right?
No, he is 30.
Oh, he is 30. Okay.
He said he would need to fix the problem in his knee to return to elite level he's shown in the past. He was averaging more points than minutes played last season before the injury, something no one had ever done over a full season beside Wilt Chamberlain 60 years ago. But he still has a ways to go to get to Wilt Chamberlain's 20,000 women.
That's what Dad wants, sure.
But Embiid didn't play in the fourth quarter on Saturday night. Now, Nurse had left it as the group on the court had a feel for the game at that point, just wanted to let them roll with it.
Right.
But I didn't know that Embiid tweaked his knee in the third quarter. I didn't watch a game, so.
Yeah, same here.
So he turns 31 next month. He signed a long-term contract extension in September that tied him through the franchise through the 28-29 season when he has a player option for $69 million. 69, nice. All told, it's 4 years for $248.1 million remaining on his deal after this season.
Wow.
But after participating in the Olympics, the expectation was Embiid would be ready for the start of training camp. But that would not be the case. Blah blah blah. But the thing is, it just seems like everything was in a shroud of mystery with his knee all year, even now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, knee management. It's almost as it may not. Let me change that. It may be even worse than in the NHL. Because you either have an upper body injury
Right.
or a lower body injury.
That's true.
Well, what happens if I get hit right at the waistline? Is that an equator injury?
Yeah.
But but hockey, that's tradition, upper lower body. It's been done mostly in the playoffs, but they do mention it. They do use it all year. But
I think if they weren't in position to go to the playing tournament, then they probably would shut him down and say this is going on. But
But but obviously he wants to play, but he knows that something isn't right.
Yeah.
Or maybe because we've seen this franchise do this before, but not to this extent. Maybe this is all one big mystery. Because I want to pretend I'm Republican and have all these conspiracy theories and shit like that. Maybe there's something along the lines where maybe it's all a big conspiracy theory because they want to get a top pick in the draft next year.
Oh. Now that's interesting. That's a possibility.
I don't think it's the case, but
But that's a possibility.
But because of the fact that we had to go through about 4, 5, 6 years of the process,
right?
You have to throw that out there.
Of course.
But do I think Embiid's injured? Yes.
Do you think he needs to be shut down?
Yes. Put him in bubble wrap? Yes.
Yes.
Just leave like this open so you can breathe.
Yes.
Like right in here.
Yep.
And if you start sweating, maybe you'll lose some weight. But the thing is, Embiid missed 2/3 of the games this season. He's played 19 of 57 games coming into today. Embiid, Maxey, and George have only played 15 games together. They went 7-8. So they didn't even they didn't even play together in the exhibition season either. So
no, they didn't.
They had no time to get any continuity or anything like that either.
Yeah.
So, but if he was a racehorse, they would have brought out the tarp and gone. And the story that I'm going to tell you is one of those moments where the planes at Parks went today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they had this jackpot wager called the Philly Big Five.
Right.
And I think we can credit Chris Griffin, who's now the racetrack announcer at Aqueduct. I think you can credit him with that name because he's into sports and everything, and like they had even more fun things with like each of the Philly Big Five schools having a race a couple of years ago and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
so I think he's credited with the name. I'm giving him credit for that because a lot of the things changed when he took over for Keith Jones.
Okay.
So I saw today on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it this week, Elon's rotten cesspool, whatever, that Parks was going to have a mandatory payout of the Big Five wager or the Pick Five as it's commonly called
Right.
on Wednesday. Now this has happened a couple of times, specifically at Gulfstream Park. It may have happened somewhere else as well.
Right.
They announced that they're going to have a mandatory payout. And twice this happened at Gulfstream, and once a guy did this and won $6 or $7 million. You plan for a mandatory payout,
Yeah.
and the day before somebody pots it.
What?
At Parks today,
Yeah.
now the way that they do the Philly Big Five, I do not like.
Okay.
Now, most people do not like these jackpot wagers because it creates extra. Whatever the word is, I can't think of. But if there was a horse racing person that was watching this that can help me with that word, the take, whatever, the track takes certain percentage of money from your win wagers, and
Right.
that thing. So they announced today that they were going to have it on Wednesday. Now, Parks, the last couple of times that they had a mandatory, that wasn't on the last calendar day of the year. They did not announce it till the day before. They made sure that the Monday and Tuesday cards made sure they got to Wednesday, even though you could look at the program and say, oh, well, there's no Big Five here for race one, so they got to have a mandatory.
Right.
So they announced it today. I saw Jessica posted, and then Parks or Parks first, and then Jessica, because they were like back to back on my timeline.
Okay.
Don't you know the curse of Gulfstream struck Parks today?
What?
Somebody hit that Pick Five today for almost $250,000.
Oh. Whoa.
Now, I didn't see the last race.
Right.
And I didn't see anything because I went joking around to Jessica on Twitter today. And the thing is, I joke around a little bit because, Bleacher Brothers, we're trying to build a rapport with her and everything. And
Right.
I said today, there will be, as she said about 10:10 this morning, there will be a mandatory on Wednesday. And I replied to her because I was like, oh yeah, I want to see what that carryover is because I'm planning out the rest of my week because tomorrow's race is going to be Parks like it always is this time of the year from the Daily Racing Form. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I believe, are all Gulfstream, or Wednesday and Thursday are Gulfstream Fridays. Whatever Daily Racing Form decide. So I'm like, you know what? Let me, they didn't even race for a week, so I have no clue what that carryover is because they canceled racing all last week.
Yeah.
Let me see what that carryover is. And I looked today.
Uh-huh.
I looked at the last race.
Right.
The numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it was, paid $244,000, and below it, there is no indication of a carryover. So somebody had the one winning ticket.
Oh, dude.
So I said, joking around to her, and just like that, someone pots the pool today.
Yeah, they did.
Now, I don't know if she chuckled when somebody won or from me saying that. She goes, the way I chuckled But I said I was looking ahead to things to write and talk about this week.
Right.
And I saw someone hit today looking to see what the carryover had been, and I am going to pull up my X here so you can see the gift that I attached to this. And all right, so let me do this first. All right, so let me share my screen here. I keep forgetting. I should learn to have shows where I don't share anything, so I don't have to fix this. But there you go. I mean, seriously, it's like
Wow.
it's like all the air out of that wager is now gone.
Yep.
And I guarantee, watch somebody hit it again tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah. Man.
Because that's happened to Gulfstream twice. That's happened to Gulfstream twice, where they announce it a couple of days ahead of time. Now, granted, end of the year, end of the meet, Gulfstream has at least 4 year. And they're usually the 4 times that they have the ends of their meets.
Right.
The championship meet, the spring summer meet, whatever they call it, the summer fall one, and the one leading up to the championship meet. So, and there's also it's also like, for example, the fiscal year and stuff like that. So there's a couple different times where Gulfstream does it, but a couple of times with Gulfstream they've had that happen. That's the first time I've seen that happen at Parks. But they usually wait till Tuesday afternoon,
right,
when they know that nobody's going to win the whole thing. When they say, "Oh, we're going to have a mandatory,"
and just like that.
So
yeah,
I don't know if that chuckled comment was to me when she read it, or she was joking around with, she may have done something on the air with the hot mic,
maybe.
But now I'm gonna have to watch the video after this, race 10 after the show.
Wow.
But but it was a 29-1 shot that won that last race. Paid 61 something to win. And going back over those last 5 races.
Yeah.
Now, the first 5 races for the first Big 5 that they had, you had a $14.80 winner. Okay. $9. Okay.
Okay.
Third race paid $3.80, so that pretty much guaranteed that was going to carry over.
Right.
You had a $3.20 winner. That guaranteed it if the third race didn't. Then in the 5th race, you had a $43.40 winner. Now, probably had 2 or 3 winners because it paid $2,100. Then this one. Started off innocently, $4.60 to win.
Right.
$16.40. Okay, well, you knock out some tickets there. 8th race, $12.60. You knock out more tickets.
Right.
And it was also a short field of 6, so it's hard to knock out tickets there. Race 9, $12.60. Again, you knock out tickets, but you had 7 horses in that field. So, it's like if you had that lucky ticket and you had the 2 who won at $61.40, if you knew that you were the only ticket that had that 2,
right,
you had to be shitting bricks.
Right.
But you did have a field of 11 in that last race, so that kind of helped because, more options.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow it paid $242,055. So
that is so nice.
So to Parks, who announced their event, announced their pick 5, mandatory a day too early.
Yep. Yep, you're
And
right.
I think because they announced it, they have to go through with that mandatory on Wednesday.
Really?
Because that's what Gulfstream did a couple of times. It's like, oh well, we fucked up, somebody hit it, so guess what? We gotta honor the promotion. But
Announce it too early. Yeah.
Mhm.
It happens, like you said.
Mm-hmm. But somebody messed up.
Yep.
But I understand why they did it because they wait till it gets to a certain point. It's like, okay, well, we'll get rid of the money here. But it's hard to get a lot of new money into that pool on Wednesday, even if it did carry over for another day or so,
Mm-hmm.
because you have Gulfstream Park and they get a ton of money on Wednesday. I doubt people want to play the Parks one when you could play the Gulfstream one for 50 cents
Right.
for 20 cents as opposed to 50.
Okay.
So the carryovers for tomorrow. Well, actually, Gulfstream has a carryover of $221,000 on Wednesday for their pick six. Turf Paradise is at $5,500. But yeah, nothing really. But shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. So let me just check one last thing. Anything new that's worth mentioning here? No, nothing really. I mean, Al Troutwig died, but I couldn't picture what sports he called in the Olympics.
Can't either.
But he did a lot of work with New York Sports and MSG Network.
Yes, he did.
The owner, I guess we did have our 3 people die today.
Yeah, we did.
Cleveland Guardians owner Lawrence Dolan died today at 94.
Yep.
He died Sunday night of natural causes, a.k.a. he was really fucking old. And Roberta Flack.
Yep.
The Grim Reaper, hopefully he killed her softly. But all right, so that is going to be it for this Monday night show. Mike, thank you once again. And thank everybody for watching. I did see that we had viewers on the In the Bleachers YouTube. We still have somebody in the In the Bleachers YouTube. Got somebody here in Twitch other than me. And we do have our viewers on X as well. And I will be back tomorrow at 9:00. Hopefully, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed because I'm surprisingly awake and haven't yawned too much tonight. Here I go now because I mentioned it.
Right.
But I'll be back tomorrow and we'll see what kind of trouble I can get myself into. But with AJ and the guys taking a week off this week, it means that I can start right at 9:00 like I want to. I mean, I could still start at 9. I just couldn't do a couple of places I want to go to, but I will be expanding that soon because around April 1st, my Joe Quills Show page on Facebook, I will be streaming on there too.
Cool.
So spread the word on the Joe Quills Show page as well. I'll have
Joe spread on Facebook. Joe spread on Facebook. Joe spread on Facebook. Joe spread on Facebook. Like that?
I guess.
Okay.
All right, so that's going to be it now. Mike, thanks once again. And thanks for everybody for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at 9:00 and we'll have some more fun and see if I can get myself in any trouble. So have a great night, everybody. And I will see you in the winner's circle. Good night, everybody.